Big injury today in week 4 as Rashee Rice took a knee to the helmet from Patrick Mahomes. Looks like it's going to be a devastating knee injury. We're going to take a look at the tape. We're going to see what this injury is about. We're going to talk about the long-term aspects for this for Dynasty Fantasy Football and terms with the suspension as well. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're looking at the waiver wire every day to help you build your team. We're using these videos to help you set your lineups to win your fantasy matchups. Click that button. Stop missing out. We're here with the breaking news as well. As you're seeing this happened a few hours ago. But we're going to run this on a loop and talk some ball because that is a nasty injury happening to Rashee Rice right there. Right there. Boom. Impact. See it bend back. It ain't supposed to do that. We're scheduled for an MRI, so we'll get more information. Hopefully it's not what it looks like or what we're guessing or what everybody's guessing it is, a torn ACL. But it's not looking good. Right on impact. Things happen like that when ball's being played, body's moving around. A nasty injury. And when you're thinking about an injury like this, you're also thinking about the potential of him being suspended going into the 2025 season and how long that could potentially be and how much that could impact his 2025 football season. Will he be even able to play next year? So we're going to miss all of 2024. We only had 4 games in or a partial of 4 games. But now we're going to 2025. How long are we going to be suspended there? Is it going to be like a 6-game suspension? Because you can kind of live with that because we're coming back from the ACL injury and you expect him to rehab and everything else. Maybe that just gives him some extra time to rehab and maybe we're good to go when we're back in mid-season or back to true form. Or is this going to be a long one, 12 games, a full season? Because that was a nasty car crash he was in and this is a legal thing that could just impact him. So is he going to be out in 2025? Is he going to be back early 2025? Because he'll probably be rehabbed. He'll probably be back in training camp, doing some workouts, probably starting off on the pup. And then that suspension is just going to lie where it lies. We'll know probably in the spring, I'm guessing. Maybe earlier than that. But again, this is not looking good when you stack this injury with the suspension. And that length of the suspension on top of this is going to be impactful for Rashee Rice. And now you're thinking about Dynasty Fantasy Football. This is a fantasy football channel, and we talk a lot about Dynasty Fantasy Football here. That's mostly what the channel's built off of. And a lot of people are going to say, hey, I got to move him. I got to move him for whatever I can get. But then you're going to see people on the other end say, hey, I'm going to try and make that trade for him and see if I can catch him on the cheap. The thing is, there's got to be where the rubber meets the road here. And it's not like you're going to be able to move him and get much back for him. If you're looking for a starter, what starter are you going to get? Because you're hearing a lot of talk on social media about him potentially being suspended, he being out for the rest of the season. So what are people going to pay up for? Are they going to throw a second-round rookie pick at him? No, probably not. Probably not, because he might be out 2 years. There's a chance there. The 2024 season, we got 90% of it left or something like that. And we got the whole 2025 season in jeopardy right now. So you may not see him for like 2026. Maybe not. Maybe he gets a half-year suspension or something like that. But what if? And if that's happening, are you going to take that gamble with a second-round pick? I don't think a lot of Dynasty gamers are going to do that. So if you're going to do that, you're selling for whatever you can get on the comeback. But again, he's going to be sitting on your roster for a long time. But he's going to have that IR status or some kind of exempt status as well. And if your league can fit that and he's just going to be a free spot, maybe it's okay for you. Because he's going to be in the IR spot right now for your Dynasty team. But now you got to figure out something, how to plug that hole. So maybe it's him plus something else. He's probably going to be a part of a much bigger trade if you're trying to patch things up. Like if you're undefeated, you had Rashee Rice, and now this really hurts you, it's probably him and something else to get something else. It's probably like that to get something done. I don't see anybody just rushing to try to get him due to that suspension leaving over his head. And then on top of that, you got to really take a hit on the market value to previously what he was going for just a few hours ago. Now we're looking at Rashee Rice, and it's going to be market value from league to league. but he's going to be out the rest of this year. He's probably going to be out a bit for 2025, and maybe if you're lucky, midway through 2025, he's back after the suspension and everything, but it could be longer than that. But for Dynasty Fantasy Football, we're now in this weird center here where you think people will come in and swoop in and try and buy on the low, but it might be very low to the point where you're just holding on for a couple years, and he's not going to really hold on to a roster spot because you can put him on IR, and you'll probably got some IR spot for him next year as well. That's probably going to start there or some kind of exempt list or something, but that's something to pay attention to. But if he's going to get moved in Dynasty Fantasy Football, I imagine it's going to be part of much larger deals for him and something for something else. And you're trying to get that bigger player. You got Rice, you got picks, you got another prospect, and you're just trying to patch up some holes to get through the 2024 season. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.